Double O Monkey could smell Steve from here. His tracking devices were working like a charm. Oh no, Steve's scent was drowned in a sea of similar smells. George would never be able to pick up Steve's trail. It was clear 3 senses weren't enough to track the slippery Steve. Double O Monkey would need 4. Luckily, he knew someone with a taste for tracking. Or at least a taste for treats.
I hope Sharky is able to follow the crumbs. Otherwise, I'll be covered in whatever Steve's making me this time.
Time was running out for Double O Monkey. The recital was tonight. This had to work. Steve's trail ended here. Which room was Steve in?
Oh.
His tracking device. The sound was louder here. He could smell the backpack too.
Betsy's gonna love this.
Betsy was right. Steve was making another surprise for her.
Now I just have to find a box.
And George had to find out what. Double O Monkey couldn't see through the window. Maybe he could feel what it was. It felt like a jar, and it was wet. Paint? That was a weird good luck gift. Although Betsy did love to paint. Maybe Steve had a whole set of paints for her? It was a gift that could go really, really bad. George had to warn her. Double O Monkey was too late. Luckily, super spies are very fast on their feet.
Way to go, George!
Here we go again.
This is for you.
It's beautiful. Thank you. But why'd you make me a vase?
Because it wasn't anything that could slop on you. Look, it's supposed to be you doing your solo. The paint got smudged somehow when I set it out to dry. But I kind of like it. It makes it look like you're actually moving. It sure was lucky you were here, George. That vase would have smashed into a zillion pieces.
Double O Monkey saves the day again.
George felt awful. He'd kept the man up again.
Okay, George, I'm going on my run. Maybe after a cup of tea.
If only he had some way to quietly find the kitchen in the dark. He couldn't see or hear his way. Maybe George could taste his way.
George, don't eat off the floor. Use a sponge.
Okay, so he couldn't use taste. What other senses were there?
Want some honey in your oatmeal?
Maybe touch. If George felt honey with his feet, he'd know he was going the wrong way. He was so excited about his path, he could hardly wait until he couldn't fall asleep to try it out. The honey was working. He was finding his way by touch. Trouble is, once you step in honey, it sticks to your feet. And before you know it, it feels like it's everywhere.
George, what are you doing? Oh. Ooh.
George needed to feel his way with something less messy. Maybe something soft.
We're going for a ride, George.
George's soft path had to work.
What?
Because the man's race was tomorrow, and he needed to get some sleep.
Oh, I'm okay.
George's stuffed animals would tell him where the furniture was, but he needed more soft things to lead him to the kitchen. George sure hoped his path worked.
Sorry, so late. I kept falling asleep. Big race tomorrow. Gotta go to bed early. Right after supper.
George didn't even have to wait until bedtime to try his soft path out. He did it. He'd made it to the kitchen, and he didn't wake the man. In fact, he used his path many, many, many times. Because he was so excited about the man's race tomorrow, he was the one who couldn't sleep. The next morning, George was there to cheer on the man as he swam. And rode. And ran his way to the finish line.
Oh, did you see that, George?
But George missed the finish. All that walking around made a monkey very sleepy. then he wasn't.
Sir, the drive belt snapped. We can't go if the prop don't spin. Yes, sir. Of course. We can use the belt from an automobile. I'll get one.
It looked like Duxie couldn't hope to beat that American monkey. There was no chance of winning now. But then... the monkey tightened his rubber band one turn too many. This race wasn't over yet.
No power! Without propellers, my ship will go wherever the wind blows it. Almost!
Chuck Monkey had to help, but his plane couldn't fly. Fortunately, Duxie's ship was still on the ground. He explained the emergency as they took off. But Lieutenant Duxie didn't understand. The monkey ruined his ship, and now he was about to do the same to the Duxies.
I got a belt, sir. Come back.
But they couldn't go back because they couldn't control the ship. If they didn't get a belt quickly, they too would blow into the Eiffel Tower. Clothes for a belt? What a great idea!
Go! How can I ever thank you?
Putting the Baron in an emergency life balloon, the clever flyers used their ship's propellers to create a wind to blow him back to the landing field. They saved the Baron, but they were in last place. Still, no obstacle was too big for Chuck Monkey and Lieutenant Duxie. Maybe together they could win this race. It wasn't 1909. Hundley wasn't in a race, and his balloon was still stuck. But if it was a dream, why could he still hear his airship's propeller? The fan. It sounded a lot like a propeller. And it looked a lot like a propeller. And if it moved air, it would move things that were in the air, right? George raced back without the fishing pole because he had another idea. And it was the same idea that Hundley just had. George aimed the fan. Hundley barked orders like a famous aviator. Aiming the wind behind the balloon, George could push it where he wanted it to go.
Air conditioning is all fixed. Hundley, you're relieved from duty.
You want to go to the park and fly that plane, George?
Hundley had something else he needed to do.
Won't be needing this anymore. You want it on? Okay. Kinda noisy if you want a nap.
It was exactly what Hundley wanted to hear. Because he had some unfinished business back in 1909. With the aid of a monkey, the Duxie is pulling ahead. Folks, if they win this one, people will be talking about this victory 100 years from now.
Remember, George? We almost lost all the bones here. The delivery guy took the wrong box. Whew, still 4 bones. We know that we went to the restaurant after we left here, but did we go straight to the restaurant? Or did we go to the lake first? Wait, is that a noodle on your cheek? Oh, George, how many times have we practiced wiping your mouth after eating soup? After eating soup! You had soup before we went to the park. That means we went to Paschetti's, then the park. We figured out our path. We left home, bought fruit, ate soup, I fell in the lake, museum. The box is bulging. We still had all 4 bones in the park. So the bone has to be between the lake and the museum.
Oh, this looks bad. Bad, bad, bad. Is there any chance they'll find that bone before 5?
But it must be here if we went right from the park to the museum.
The pictures had to be in the right order. Didn't they?
Yes, I'm drippy because I fell in the lake. What is it? I'm wet? Then we deliver it and... I'm dry. That's right. I forgot. We went home again.
The lobby wasn't just the first step on their path. It was also the next to last step.
So we left home, bought fruit, ate soup, I fell in the lake, went home again to get dry, museum.
Sure, I remember. You left the box in the lobby while you changed. Then your friend took that picture as you left in the dry clothes.
George noticed something else. What was that white blur?
George, please, wait a second. If I explain, maybe he can help find the bone. The bone! Hunley, where did you find that?
Huntley knew exactly where he found it.
Why don't you take a break? There's a surprise for you on the chair.
Hurry! We have 1 minute to get to the museum.
Oh, this is going to be so embarrassing. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what you're all hoping for.
Okay, it's done. Let's go. No! Oh! George, I'm stuck.
I apologize for what you are about to see.
Look! The oldest complete ankylosaurus, over there!
How can I ever thank you for keeping this from being embarrassing?
The monkey was back.
Okay, George. Give her a shake and let's see what it sounds like.
I can tell you right now,
Goats don't play the accordion. That's another thing goats do. They chew things, especially boxes.
Goats do eat an awful lot, but if there were a goat in there, we'd hear it moving around.
It moved! I heard it move! Hello, Mr. Goat! Hello!
It was just a squirrel.
He was probably having a play date with the goat.
Go on, George, shake it. Let's see what it sounds like. Sounds like a bunch of cans of soup.
Who sends cans of soup? Unless they put cans of soup in there for the goat to eat.
Grown-ups send weird things. My aunt once sent me underwear for my birthday. I'd rather have soup.
George could feel something inside the box. It was another clue. What it felt like, whatever it was round and hard and covered in stiff hair.
Okay.
Let me. She'll just say it feels like a goat. Holy cow! That feels like a goat! Could it be?
Told you!
Goats were smelly. But the box smelled like, well, George didn't know exactly what, but it didn't smell like goat.
That does not smell like a goat.
Maybe it had a bath. Grandma always makes me take a bath before I go on a trip.
Could it be a very clean goat?
Look! It's a delivery truck!
He must be here to pick up the box.
George didn't want to say goodbye to the box until he figured out what was inside.
Please, don't take it yet.
Oh, sorry. I've got my orders.
But mister, we still haven't figured out what's inside.
Yes, we have. It's a goat.
Huh? George, we can't keep it. We don't even know who it's for.
It's for you! We left it here this morning. Why haven't you opened it?
Oh, this was from you?
It's a little present to thank you for helping us with the volcanoes.
Yes, I often wonder how other scientists manage without a monkey.
Sure, go ahead, George.
George couldn't wait to meet his new goat or eat soup, whichever it was.
No goat.
Do you know what those are, George?
George knew furry bowling balls when he saw them.
No, George, those are coconuts.
So that was coconut water sloshing, not soup.
And this isn't goat hair. It's coconut hair.
Gee, you flew all this way just to give us coconuts?
No, much more.
Oh, straws. Lays? Shirts? Hey, neat. Oh, another box to open, George. What is all this?
A luau in a box! We'd have stayed when we dropped the box off earlier, but we left our ukuleles in our other lab coats.
Well, George, we learned an important lesson today. A box can weigh, feel, and sound like a goat, But if it doesn't smell like a goat, it's probably coconuts.